Greetings, everyone. I am Nicholas BAMONTE. I'm an agriculturalist, a sound healing agriculturalist. Originally from Florida, I moved to Atlanta, Georgia, and I ran into this powerful organization called Habasha Inc, helping Africa by establishing schools home abroad. And this agricultural organization taught me so much about sustainability, green infrastructure, water quality, soil testing, culture. You know, there's no culture without agriculture. So I've been doing that for about 2 to 3 years. Studying the earth. I believe in just watching in real time and observing. Because anywhere you go is going to be different. I want to be influenced by the earth. My brand is Frequency Growth, and Frequency Growth is a play on names. So it's frequent seed growth because it starts with a seed, raising the vibrations of that seed and the soil, really, which is the most important thing in growing. So I set spaces for land, for ceremonies, for retreats, for if you're thinking about starting your own, farm, garden, building your own home, I will come and use my service to raise the vibration so that things can prosper. This is me, Nicholas BAMONTE, like I said, here to grow. My Instagram is Frequency Growth. Let's grow. I'm a recent student from the Training and Applied Agriculture program, cohort number 6. Today I'll be speaking about biodiversity conservation. I'll start with a quote which states, "We have become, by the power of glorious evolutionary accident called intelligence, the stewards of life continually on earth. We did not ask for this role, but we cannot adjure to it. We may not be suited for it, but here we are." What is biodiversity? Biodiversity conservation, the practice of protecting, preserving the wealth and variety of species, habitats, ecosystems, genetic diversity on the planet, is more important for health, wealth, fuel, food, and service we depend on. So right here you see a circle, different spaces in the world that require diversity, whether it be, in the city, whether it be in rural areas where we have a lot of farms, a lot of livestock. To make this world, this natural world, sustainable, we require biodiversity conservation. What is sustainable agro ecosystem? Pretty much a means of configuring civilization and human activity so that society, its members, its economies are able to meet their needs and express their greatest potential in the present while preserving biodiversity and natural ecosystems, planning and acting for the ability to maintain these ideals for future generations. The interconnectedness of organisms, plants, animals, microbes with each other and their environment. So to make it sustainable, we must preserve it by looking at every aspect of the spectrum when it comes to nature. This is what we should be focusing on. So as biodiversity, the variability among living organisms on the earth, including the variability within and between species and within and between ecosystems. So this right here, is not just the foods, the plant, it's also the animals and the insects. Conservation, the protection, preservation, management, or restoration of wildlife and of natural resources such as forests, soil, and water. It's so important that we preserve and conserve our wildlife. There's a lot of species that are becoming endangered. We have been definitely taking down trees, polluting the soil with these chemicals. I just came from Ghana, where galamsey is a big issue. If people wanted to build and develop to obtain gold, but in the process of obtaining gold, they're injecting chemicals into the ground, into the soil. And then also another important thing, water. Water is so important. This is how we live. This really, we live off of water and air for the most part. If we don't have a solid, planet, if we don't have a solid, state of nature, we're not going to be getting those things. We're going to be getting polluted. We're going to end up with more disease and discomfort. Biomimicry, the imitation of natural biological designs or processes in engineering or invention, is just mimicking the earth, mimicking the things that the earth do, using our creative ideas, to work together. Green infrastructure, the range of measures that use plant or soil systems, permeable pavement, or other permeable surfaces and substrates, stormwater harvest and reuse, or landscapes to store, infiltrate, or evapotranspirate stormwater and reduce flows to sewer systems or to service waters. Green infrastructure is one of the things that I got my certification in nationally. I believe it's super important, especially in urban areas, to catch the water, because one of the main focuses in this, agricultural sustainable life is that we three things that reduce, reuse, and recycle. And green infrastructure helps do those three things: reducing the pollution, reusing the water. I have a practice called rain garden. Other practices like catching water from the rain, but this rain garden infiltrates the water from the sewage, and it allows me to use it to water the plants in the garden. Biodiversity conservation is the protection and management of biodiversity. Biodiversity conservation has three main objectives: to preserve the diversity of species, sustainable utilization of species and ecosystems, to maintain life-supporting systems and essential ecological processes. So right here, you see a map of different things that are connected, to this biodiversity, green infrastructure system. We have a priority model, because definitely we have to make it a priority. This has to be something that is, done globally, and it definitely has to, be passed down through generation. We definitely have to educate the youth about these things. And I believe it'll be super beneficial, to use the youth and educate the youth as much as we can, because these are our future leaders and influencers. And if they're talking about, helping the earth and giving back and not taking away, we should be listening to them. Pretty much with green infrastructure, it's a tool that catches water and anything that seeps through. So right here on this mountain, you see it's kind of like a slope going down, that's feeding the river or creek that's in this system. And then also you have a picture of, evapotranspiration, the process of when rain hits the earth and it nourishes the soil, to the plants, to the trees, to the air, and then circling that system where the rain comes back down. Water quality as it relates to life. I studied macroinvertebrate while learning about water quality and electric in the air that's in the water. These are macroscopic invertebrates, especially in aquatic organisms such as a crustacean, a mollusk, or an aquatic insect. These little small things can tell you a lot about your environment and open your eyes on how your water is being affected. If there is no life in your water, you may want to consider testing it. Just to show you, sometimes there are things that aren't considered contributing to our sustainable bioecosystem that must go unnoticed. So right here you see a picture of, some scientists or individuals, searching for these very small insects, and they have different ways of, catching them to identify what they are. But the most important thing is, the water that we're drinking. If it's fresh water, there should be something living in our water, because if the things in the water are growing, then using it for ourselves, we will grow as well. So these are a list of a whole bunch of references. You know, I pretty much went through the slides just to share a little bit about my journey with ecosystems, biodiversity. You can contact me by Instagram, by email. Pretty soon there'll be a website. I'm doing amazing things in America right now, but I'm really seeking to do a lot of international work. So if you're interested in working or building or maybe even doing some more of these trainings with me, reach out to me. Thank you.